Hello, little chefs. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. We're just doing something fun. I thought it'd be cool to have a little ask the chef session. So you could ask me literally anything you want. You can ask me about my yacht experience. You can ask me, hey, I have these 5 ingredients in my fridge. What do I cook for dinner? Or if you're wanting to get into the industry, you can ask me about my experience. Literally, whatever. My comment section is open, and I'll be responding to those just as we do this live. Before we start, I want to tell you something really cool that I'm doing. I'm doing cooking classes. They're only $2.99. So you can join monthly based on what we're doing for the class. But I have a lot of subscribers that have been really enjoying it so far. So each month we do a cooking class. I also share a ton of recipes on the subscription page. I do apron giveaways, and it's just a good place to have a little foodie community. So for this next cooking class we have coming up, it's going to be in early February, and we're going to be doing a Valentine's date night idea. So I have three options right now that I'm trying to poll my little chefs on. And I did post it on the Abby and the Galley page, but if you're a subscriber, those are the ones that are really taking the for real vote. So I have three options for the February cooking class. Lobster risotto with a blue cheese, pear, and walnut salad. Lamb chops with goat cheese polenta and Greek salad. And Tuscan chicken with a creamy sun-dried tomato pasta and Caesar salad. Right now, the chicken's in the lead, but it's a very close second with the lobster risotto. I guess no one likes lamb, and that's surprising to me because I love lamb. So that's for our February date night. It would be a fun thing to do, to maybe cook dinner for your special someone, or even just throw on the live cooking class to cook together. It'll be a fun date night idea. Okay, so now on to Ask the Chef. I see your comments coming in. Okay, Bev. I always am forgetting to get food out of the freezer. What's the quickest way to defrost meat from the freezer? Okay, I'm going to give you two answers. I'm going to give you the food safety answer, and then I'll give you the not so food safety answer. So for the food safety answer, there are three ways of safely thawing food. Number one, which is the safest way, it's going to be in the refrigerator, obviously. But I know that sometimes takes a couple days. So, second way is under cold running water, according to Serve Safe standards. Cold running water, and then you can't let it get below 70 degrees within like 4 hours. So, I know that one wastes a lot of water, so I am not a fan of running water for 4 hours. And last way is to defrost in the microwave. But if you're defrosting in the microwave, you have to cook immediately after thawing. I have seen on Amazon those like little thawing bricks, and I don't even know the science behind it, but I have seen it. You put like a piece of meat on this little thawing, I don't even know, a thawing plate, and it seems to thaw out pretty easily. I would just do like thawing plate, search it on Amazon. I've heard great things about it. Okay. Oh, and then okay, non-food safety. Um, I don't I don't do this in a kitchen. I only do this in my own home. I just leave it out for like an hour or two and then put it into the refrigerator. Just to like give it a little head start, right? Okay, Tracy is asking what happens when you have to cook in rough waters. So I'm rarely cooking when we're underway. Underway meaning the boat is moving, we're going to the next stop. So we usually on travel days only are underway for about 4 hours during the day. So if that's the case, I'm doing an easy lunch. If it's rough seas, I'm doing a super easy lunch, and I've planned before. I have a lot of things that I have backed up in the freezer to just be able to pop in the oven. For example, I made empanadas, and I had those made and in the freezer. I could take out and pop into the oven. So I have things ready to go on hand in the freezer that I can pop in the oven. It is kind of scary on rough sea days though, because I made a cake one time when it was rough seas, and the cake turned out like completely lopsided because the boat is, rocking back and forth. So just decided to cook as a lopsided cake. But hey, it still tasted delicious. But yeah, I'm rarely having to cook while we're underway. We're usually in a marina or anchored. Victor asked, what culinary school did I attend? And am I ACF certified? Okay, so I did not attend culinary school. I just learned my way up in the kitchens. I started at Walt Disney World, and I learned so much. And at the same time, I was going to school at the University of Central Florida, and I went to the Rosen College of Hospitality Management, and I studied food service management, which was an amazing experience. We had affiliations with Disney, so that's why I got to work for such an amazing company. And then from there, I started cooking in other restaurants, eventually opening up my catering business, and then branching out into the chef on a yacht opportunity. I have a great, I have a get together. Joe says I have a get together for 10 people. Simple, healthy bites. Don't have a huge budget, but I want to be nice and be able to plate well seating. Okay. Wow. Plate well while seating. Okay. So Joe, can you give me a follow-up answer? Is it for a dinner or appetizers? Crystal says, hello, did you grow up on the water? What piqued your interest as a chef on a yacht? So I grew up on the east coast of Florida, so technically I grew up very close to the water. And I mean, I love the ocean. I love everything about water. I never thought I would be on a yacht. Literally never. I didn't even think I could like get my little toe into the industry. So the opportunity kind of presented itself in a funny way. I got a message on Facebook, actually, Facebook Messenger from an old friend of my brother's mom, and she's like, "Hey, my old boss needs a chef on his yacht. You wanna try it out?" I'm like, yeah, sure. Send him my info. So we had that conversation, the interview that night, and I got the job. So it was kind of just a random opportunity, and I decided to roll with it. Okay. Bev wants to do the chicken for the next cooking class. I'm in favor of the lobster or the lamb. I think that's so unique. You don't get to cook that much with those items. If you're not familiar with it, you're kind of scared of it. Chicken, everyone knows how to do chicken, right? Oh, there we go. It's called a miracle thaw. So the person asking about thawing foods, look up on Amazon a miracle thaw. To teach. Okay, Robin, what's the best way to prepare to teach culinary arts or home economics in high school? Okay, so I am teaching culinary arts. I am a high school teacher. So I didn't major in education, but I do have a background in culinary arts. So I had to get my general education or general knowledge test done. At least this is for Florida. These are Florida stuff. So I had to take a general knowledge test. I had to take a subject area exam, which is family and consumer science. And then I had to take classes to get off my temporary certification to get my permanent certification. So once I got that, I kind of just worked out of the same textbook that I kind of had when I was in college, when I was taking my culinary classes. And if you want to DM me, I have some pretty cool resources that I used my first year of teaching. Rough seas and a knife, bad combination. Yeah, that's why I'm definitely had backup plans where I can just, toss it in the oven, don't have to do much prep. Brendan, what's the best way to get into being a yacht chef? I have a year of culinary school and lots of experience. Um, I think it's all about just getting your foot in the door and taking whatever opportunity it is. So, I mean, there are postings. Like if you type in Yacht Chef on like Indeed, you might get things that pop up for you. But even just working as like a stew at first, just to know the industry, and then working up to chef on a yacht, or maybe start off as a prep chef on a yacht. But it's all about just getting your foot in the door. You got to know someone to get in, I feel like, and I feel like that's the case with the restaurant industry. It's all about networking and who you know. Or if you just want to like go and shadow, that will also open up a whole lot of networking opportunities to you. Shelby, I love your videos. Thank you. What is your favorite thing about working on yachts? I think the thing that I like most about working on yachts is the challenge. And I'm a very organized person and very independent person. So I take a lot of pride in my organization skills and the menu development that I come up with, and just like how everything comes back to you. Every little piece of everything that comes out of the kitchen is always going to fall back on you, whether it's positive or negative. And I think that's what gives me so much motivation to work super hard and produce amazing dishes, is because that I'm a little prideful and I want everyone to enjoy my food. So I push myself really hard to create amazing dishes. Um, as far as like the organization part of it goes, I love doing the provisioning. Like, for example, we brought on $18,000 worth of food, just just initial provisioning. That's not like getting stuff from the markets in the islands, but this is just the initial provisioning of all meats, because we keep all of our meats frozen. I had about 700 pounds of meat that got on board. Original provisioning of dry goods and whatever else we get. So that was really fun. I love the logistic part of it. I think even more than the cooking, I love the logistic part of it. What's your least favorite? What is your least favorite dish to make? Anything baking. So if I have to bake bread, or I don't know, bake a cake, count me out. I don't want any part of baking. I don't know. It's a thing. Like it's either you're great at cooking or great at baking. And I'm great at cooking. I'm not great at baking. I don't like measuring. I think that's it. Okay. Christy, can you substitute things like regular sour cream, mayo, cream cheese in most recipes with low or no fat versions? I'm trying to lose weight and all of them seem to add the most calories. Oh, absolutely. You don't have to follow a recipe. And that's what I love about cooking. You don't need to follow a recipe. do whatever your little heart tells you to do. If it says, like, let's, for example, if you have a soup recipe and it says, okay, now add a block of cream cheese. You don't have to add the block of cream cheese if you don't want to. You really don't. So you can either leave it out or put less of it in or use a low fat option. Courtney, have you ever run out of food needed on the yacht? Yes, but I do have like a preset menu for the, so we go out for 2 months and I have a preset menu, which is a joke because you can't plan for 2 months. You know, you have to see what's in the fridge, what's going bad. You kind of, it's just, you're rolling with the punches the whole time. So, yeah, do I have a dish that's supposed to be made with broccoli and I don't have any broccoli on board? Absolutely. But again, it's called rolling with the punches, and I just cook whatever I have on hand. So, have I ever run out of something like super important, like flour or sugar or butter? No, I haven't, thankfully. Okay. Uh, where'd my comments go? Okay. Do you prefer French or English food? French food. Everyone loves butter, Sue. Best way to meal prep without drying out the meat. Okay. Hi, Erica. I wonder if she's still in here. Hi, Erica. Everyone go follow Cook at Erica. She's wonderful. She's hilarious. Okay, so back to the meal prep, drying out the meat. So the best things to meal prep and have in the fridge, and you can keep it for days on end, is like soups and stews. Anything crock pot holds wonderful because it's literally just sitting in its own juices. And once you cook it again in the microwave, it's just going to reabsorb all of the liquid that it's in. So, my suggestion, if you're doing meal prep stuff, I would do like stews, like a beef stew, or like shredded chicken, pulled chicken that you do in a crock pot with lots of moisture. Just when in doubt, pour some chicken stock in there. What is the crew's favorite meal you made? Their favorite meal, they were very like meat and potatoes kind of people. But they loved the pad thai. They loved it. Oh my gosh, my cousin's in here. Favorite cookbook. Favorite cookbook is probably uh The Fat, Acid, and Heat. I forget who wrote it. I'm so bad with cookbooks. I don't read them much, but that was super interesting. And there's a documentary of it on Netflix. It's wonderful. I think it's called Fat, Acid, and Heat. Let me make sure. I don't want to steer you wrong. Fat, acid, heat. Salt, fat, acid, heat. Can't forget the salt. It's awesome. Yeah, shadow a yacht chef. Yeah, just like if you live by the water, it'll be super easy. Like literally just pull up to a marina and start asking um, the crew. Like if you see crew cleaning the boat, just ask if you can go shadow. That's my suggestion. Okay, Lee, what is your favorite chicken dish? Chicken breast is my favorite protein and it needs flavor. Okay, so I rarely cook with chicken breast. The only time I cook with chicken breast if it's gonna be in a soup or a stew because I don't like dry meat. Um, so if I am like grilling chicken breast, what I would do is start with a brine. So a brine is just water, salt, and some sugar. And what's that's and you put your chicken breast in there. And I butterfly it, meaning I just cut it in half. I put it into the brine and I let it sit for at least 24 hours. And all that salt is going to get absorbed into the chicken breast and it's going to tenderize it and it's just going to be nice and moist and flavorful. It's wonderful. So, if you're using chicken breast and you're just going to be like pan searing it or grilling it, you need to brine it or else it's going to be so dry. But if you want to do chicken breast and do it in like a curry or I don't know, in a crock pot with barbecue sauce, that will be fine doing it that way. But I prefer chicken thighs just because there's more fat in them, and fat is flavor. Okay, Joe, my question is for 10 people, is for the lunch appetizers at noon. Hmm, let's see. Joe, message me and I'll help you come up with a little menu. Can I do a fish overview session? What goes with different types of fish? Anne. You're a subscriber, Anne. So go ahead. Can you put that in the subscriber group? And that will be something that I'll be sure to cover. Hi, Wendy. Am I on the yacht right now or on land? I'm on land in Florida. When you're really, really famous, will you remember your original Little Chefs? Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get really famous, but I will, of course, remember the OGs. What brand of knives do I like? I like Wusthof. I have in the link in my like description of Abby and the Galley, I have like a little Amazon storefront and I have my Wusthof knives and I also have a cheaper version of a knife if you don't want to spend a pretty penny on a Wusthof knife, but they are worth it in my opinion. Do I have plans to be a chef on a yacht again? Yes. Captain Mark called me about 2 weeks ago. He said, Abby, come on down to Miami and cook for New Year's. And I said, Mark, come on, man. You got to give me at least like a week's notice. This was the day before New Year's. But he's like, okay, well, get ready to come back on the yacht this summer. I'll see you then. I'm like, all right, man, I'll see you there, Captain. How do you take your espresso? Just milk? Love that you take that time for yourself. Oh, yes. So, when I'm on the yacht, I have like a lot of coffee. A lot of coffee. I work for a Cuban family, and they love their little Cuban coffees. So whenever they have their Cuban coffee, I have some Cuban coffee, and I just have it plain. Yeah, I don't like the sugar in mine. Mm-mm. If you can meet your favorite chef, who would it be and why? Um, I think Chef Grant from Alinea is a, a culinary genius. Just the way he works with food, it's like he's just playing with food, which is absolutely amazing. His brain is freaking phenomenal. Oh yeah, my jacket, Pro Start. That's part of the curriculum with high school culinary arts. This is your second year with this family. Is it the same yacht as last year? No. So, yes to the same family part, working with the same family, but it's a new yacht. It was a new yacht, I guess. So, it was a bit bigger. This one was a 90-foot Ocean Alexander. How do you maintain a social or private life when you're out at sea for a long time? So we do have Wi-Fi on board. It's very spotty, but I do get to communicate with the outside world. So especially when we're in marinas, we hook up to the marina Wi-Fi, but when we're anchored, it's kind of bad. I can't believe you're live. I'm here. Yeah, I don't go live very often. I do go live in my Abby's Private Galley. That is my little subscription page, and we do a once a month cooking class. Next cooking class is in early December. No, we're in January, everybody. Next cooking class is in early February, and we are doing a Valentine's dinner date meal. So we're either doing lobster risotto with a pear, walnut, and blue cheese salad, lamb chops with a creamy goat cheese polenta and Greek salad, or Tuscan chicken with creamy sun-dried tomato pasta and Caesar salad. So, right now, the chicken's in the lead, but a close second is the lobster. So, if you're interested in doing a cooking class with me, it's only $2.99. And I think there's a spot where you can just hit like subscribe on this live and you can test it out. You know, if you don't like it, you can cancel. But I've had a lot of little chefs stick around for months now and they really enjoy it. How did I come up with the name Little Chef? So it was kind of right after my first year on the yacht. I was like, I need a new series. Like I feel like all these people on like TikTok and Instagram and Facebook Reels, they overcomplicate food and I don't think they're making it really attainable for the common home cook to cook it. So I just wanted to be like inclusive to every level of cooking. So I just kind of want to break down the fundamentals of cooking to make it, at this level so that everyone can do it. Because honestly, cooking is simple. At the bare bones of cooking, it's simple. And you don't have to use all these fancy things or fancy techniques or fancy products to make a beautiful dish. So I thought Little Chef was endearing and just gave people a little motivation to get in the kitchen and try it out for themselves. Am I going to share my Peking duck recipe? Gosh, that was just a whirlwind. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was reading about it so rewind. For Christmas, I made Peking duck and I pulled it out of the fridge like 3 hours before Christmas dinner. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this duck, and I'm like, I want to make Peking duck because it's a whole duck. And then I started reading about it. I've never made Peking duck before, and I started reading. It's like now you need to get this like compressor thing and like blow up the duck so it takes the skin from off the meat. I'm like, excuse me, what? So I tried my best to do a Peking duck, and it turned out really good, but I don't recall what I did to it. I did everything to it. What do you like to do when you're not cooking and or teaching? I love music, so that's my little ukulele right there. I also have a guitar. I play guitar at church. I in their little band. I love my cat. I pet my cat for 10% of my day, probably. Her name's Lulu. She's the sweetest thing alive. And I love to cook, like not work related cook. I just like to cook myself meals. And this is one thing that I love to do because, working and cooking is so different than me just being in my home kitchen. Because I just get to relax and take my time when I cook. And it's so nice. It's just so different. Okay. Do I ever have a sous chef? No, I do not. What restaurant did I work at while I was at Disney? I started at the Contemporary Resort and did like the Chef Mickey stuff. And then I transferred to Fort Wilderness Resort, and there was a huge kitchen there, and we kind of like branched out to 9 different restaurants around the resort area. So I did like Hoop Doo Review for a bit. I did the quick service restaurant there for a bit, like all their grab and go snack things. When I first started off, that was like I was a prep cook when I first started, and then I worked my way up to the line cook for the Trails End um, lunch service there. Wendy, am I gonna do another apron giveaway? Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I need to put that on my calendar because I will definitely do that again. Oh yeah, Grace, the prime rib was a great deal at Publix. James, how many people do I cook for? So it kind of depends. So the owners of the yachts is just a married couple, and then they fly in their friends and family. So sometimes it's just them, and then the 4 crew. But other times they can have their whole family on board. They just fly them out to the island. So at one point, I think we had like 22 people on board, 22 total. So it was a lot. Just join. Would you mind sharing more about your cooking classes? Absolutely. So every month I go live in my subscription page, and I think there's a little button like down below that says subscribe. Um, it's $2.99 a month, and I do a cooking class once a month, usually right at the beginning of the month. And if you join now, you'll have access to all the previous cooking classes. They are recorded and they're just on my timeline. So we've done things like seared scallops with a parsnip puree. We've done, now I'm blanking on what we've done. We've done braised chicken with mushrooms. We've done like, oh, we did a Christmas appetizer party with little mini beef Wellington bites and then bacon wrapped stuffed dates. So I poll everybody usually like 3 weeks ahead of the class, just kind of giving them an option of what they want to cook for the next class. And then the winner of that poll, I'll send out the recipe a week before the class. So it gives you time to get ingredients for the cooking class. I go live right on Facebook on that subscription page, and then we get to cook together. And I get to answer your questions in the chat if there's anything that you need help with. But it's really fun. It's like I look forward to it every month, and it's a really nice community because everyone posts like their final dish as a picture on the page, and it's just so much fun to look at everyone's final dish. So yeah, and I also do apron giveaways. I post recipes, and I just hang out with y'all sometimes, just to chat. Yeah, and if you have any other questions about it, feel free to message me. I will be able to answer anything. What's my favorite go-to sauce? I like a pan sauce. So like after I'm done searing a piece of meat, I'll just deglaze it with some wine or stock, and then I'll mount it with butter, and the butter will help with like the velvetyness of the sauce. So the pan sauce is just kind of scraping off those little brown bits at the bottom. The brown bits at the bottom of a pan is called a fond. This is like a French technique. It means foundation. So you use those brown bits at the bottom of the pan, and it's going to be the foundation for our sauce, a pan sauce. If you had to have the same meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? See, that's a hard one. So I love Thai chicken curry or Thai beef curry. Thai red beef curry is fantastic, but I don't know if I could eat it for the rest of my life. I think I would have to go with sushi. I'd probably die of mercury poisoning, but sushi. I mean, you could put so many different. There's that the thing that I love most about the sushi is that there's variety. Probably like I'd probably pick salmon the whole time because I love salmon, but you could do salmon, you could do shrimp, you could do tuna. So sushi. It would be sushi. Wendy says, I sure enjoy your classes, so worth the $2.99. Thanks, Wendy. You're welcome, Doug. That is so funny. Is it me or is your voice ASMR? So that is something that I learned about myself when I first started TikTok. I had no idea that people liked my voice. I don't know what it is. Thank you so much for all the tips that you give me in the kitchen. I love them and so thankful. Oh, you're welcome, Savannah. See, this is why I call you little chefs because just I think it's just so endearing. What is your meal planning strategies? I don't really have a strategy. So I did say this in one of my yacht videos. Um, so I don't like to eat the same thing over and over again. Like I hate true meal planning. Like, some people are like, I'm gonna cook these 5 pounds of chicken, and I'm gonna have chicken for the whole entire week. I I don't like leftovers that much, so I like to switch it up. I When I meal plan, I think about different proteins first. So like let's say I'm planning my meal for the week, my meals for the week. I'll think about the different proteins that I want to eat. So let's say I want a steak one night, chicken another night, and shrimp another night, and fish another night. So then from there, I pick what would pair well with those proteins. So like the steak, I'll just probably have some vegetables and broccoli. And then with my chicken thighs, um, I'd probably do like I don't know, I'd probably do curry or something Asian with it. And then with my shrimp, I might do like shrimp tacos with a nice lime and cilantro slaw. So I just kind of do it that way. I always start out with my proteins first, and then I pick from there. Oh, I would love to get on MasterChef. I got interviewed for Next Level Chef, which is another Gordon Ramsay show. And I got a call from the casting producer. He's like, Abby, you were so close. So close. Christina, what's up? Thanks. This setup is my workstation slash I guess studio now. What is your favorite port? Mm, I like Georgetown because it has the best groceries, and that's the only reason. It was so nice to be at a marina because you could walk off the boat and get to a grocery store. But I love Staniel K. Um, yeah, Staniel K is probably my favorite for like just fun, but Georgetown for access to a grocery store. How many sets of dishes are on the yacht? There a lot. So we have a set of like these pretty blue Aztec looking plates, and then we just have like a normal. No, we have three sets of dishes. We have a china set, we have a white like plastic plate, which is still pretty, and then the blue um, Aztec kind of plate. And we probably have about 30 of each because they have parties a lot on the boat. Oh yeah, Elizabeth said soups. We did soups one time. We did French onion soup in the cooking class, and then we did together. We did a French onion soup and a Caribbean corn chowder. Okay, It's either I'm a slow reader, slow reader, or just I talk too much maybe. Oh, thanks for the stars, Elizabeth. I'm doing great. How are you? Okay. When you have a dog on the boat, how do they go to the bathroom? So Thurston is the dog's name, and Thurston hates his pee pad, but that's what we have for Thurston. And I think he used it one time, and it was when we were underway for like 8 hours that day. But for the most part, Captain Mark and Gina would get up at like 5 a.m. to take the dog out every morning. Thurston was not a fan. What is Lulu's favorite toy? Like dust bunnies. She loves just random stuff. And she loves catnip. Loves it. What is your most requested meal on the yacht? What's your you're an inspiration for me. I love watching your videos. Thanks, Brittany. Most requested meal on the yacht. So I'll do it for the husband and wife. So the husband, his top three, his number one was my Hungarian chicken. Hungarian, I did it because they were off carbs. They did this like no carb thing this summer, which was really difficult. But I did Hungarian chicken over a goat cheese squash casserole, which was like yellow squash and zucchini and egg, goat cheese, milk. And he loved that. And then I did a duck with a fennel puree. That was his number two. And his number three was Thai curry. And then the wife's was Thai curry and then like a chipotle pork and pineapple salad kind of thing that I made. I forget her number three. Aw, Elizabeth said, we love watching your videos. It's our date night meal, even if we catch it a day later. That's so great. I love that. Yeah, that's what I would do. Like, if you can't make it to the live, well, it is great to go to the live because you can like type in the chat box and interact with me. But it's also just great to play it back at your own speed, pause it when you need to, and yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And I have a lot of little chefs that cook along with like their son or daughter, and they make it like a family thing, which is also great. Do I have a cookbook for beginners, or would you consider doing a cookbook for beginners? So I was asked to do the cookbook, but I love showing how to cook rather than like writing about it. So that's why I did my little subscription page for the cooking classes so I can like show you what I'm doing. But also on that page, I do post some of my recipes. Do you eat out on the islands? I went to Cozumel, Mexico on like a regular cruise long time ago though. But on the islands, I we would go out for like drinks with the crew, and Captain Mark would always order crack conch, and it's just fried pieces of conch, and they were amazing. And they served it with like this. It was called calypso sauce, and it's like mayonnaise and ketchup and lots of lime juice. And holy cow, it was ridiculously good. Love your videos. Do you ever? Thank you. Do you ever have vegan guests, and would you ever do a vegan cooking class? I've never had vegan guests, and yes, I would do a vegan cooking class. I'm not going to say I'm great at vegan cooking. I don't have much experience with it, but I've had to do it before. But yeah, absolutely. The fun thing about vegan food is you have to incorporate a lot of spices. It's just like if you're doing a low fat diet or a low fat meal, like, when you're missing out on one thing, you need to supplement it in another thing. So if you're lacking in fat, you need to supplement with spice. I'm glad you like the French onion soup, Elizabeth. Becky, what oils should you use for what purpose? Like olive oil, canola, avocado. So the biggest thing with oils is smoke point. So that term refers to how hot an oil can get without it burning. So usually the lower smoke points have better taste, such as like olive oil. It does not have a high smoke point. I use my olive oil for like, garnishing excuse me, like dressing a salad or finishing a dish with some olive oil or doing low temperature cooking. But if I'm like searing something, I would use vegetable oil, which has a higher smoke point and it won't burn. So I would just like Google smoke point of oil. Blah, blah, blah. It's why is it so hard for me to say oil? I would Google smoke point of oils and see which one is best for high temperature cooking and which is best for just like finishing a dish, maybe. So, like when you think of peanut oil, that's like the epitome of frying oil. It's because it has a really high smoke point, and frying is usually at high temperatures. Who watches Lulu when I am gone for the summer? My family usually does. Rachel, yeah, we'll have to do a fish dish. What was the least favorite dish you made for the owners and guests? I don't think I had a bad dish. It was just super difficult to do like the low carb dishes because I provisioned the boat thinking that wasn't going to be the case. So I had to change the menu a lot. But yeah, that was difficult. And it kind of takes away how creative I can be when I'm limited. Especially, I was limited because I wasn't prepared for it. So that was hard. 2 month subscriber. I didn't even know that was a thing that you could get, Elizabeth. That's hilarious. What is the longest trip you've had on the boat? It was 2 months, but I did take a week off. Flew home. That's another thing I love about Georgetown. It's that it's the biggest airport in Great Exuma, that I can literally jump on a plane and be home and then fly back into Georgetown, which was really nice. You have trouble saying oil. You should hear us Texans say it. That's hilarious. Sam, I'm curious about provisioning because I have to do a 31-day trip on our sailboat and usually do single day charters on. Oh boy. Yeah, that's going to be tough. How big's the sailboat and how much refrigeration slash freezers do you have on the boat? What's the thing you love best on the sea and the thing you miss the most about land? Okay, Laura, let's see. The thing I love best about the sea, being on the yacht, is I have a big window in the kitchen of the yacht, and I can look out and see crystal clear turquoise water, and I get to look out that every single day. And in the bathroom, there's a huge window, and you get to look out at crystal clear turquoise water, and that's I'm just like, gosh, does it get any better than this? I'm doing my passion on a yacht in the middle of the ocean. I mean, you can't beat it. The thing I most miss most about land are my people and my cat. I just I love the crew. If it wasn't for the crew, I think I would have a really, really tough time being away from my people, because the crew literally made the trip. They're super funny, and we had so much fun together. We'd play the card game Spoons in our little downstairs area or in captain's quarters, and we just have so much fun. So if it wasn't for them, I think the trip would be really difficult. But I can't thank them enough for making it so enjoyable. Did the guest drink only one cocktail a night? Um, it depends. Wow, thank you, Elizabeth. Very sweet for the stars. Thank you. So it depend. They aren't huge drinkers, so typically it would be like one, maybe two glasses of wine a night. Um, and then if there were guests on board, we would usually break out a cocktail. And it was no more than two cocktails. Like, it was just for fun. They're not big drinkers. But the cocktails were fun. I had fun making the cocktails because I I'm like a wannabe bartender. I just throw a whole bunch of stuff in there and I don't even know if it's gonna work, but it does. How do you master when steak is done by touching the top? Okay, this is a thing that I learned. I touch the top of it. I never put a probe into a steak because then it just ends up bleeding everywhere. So what I learned how to kind of mimic the texture of a steak is that this little fleshy part of your hand, you have to like compare this texture with the texture of your steak that you're poking. So this, if you just kind of don't pinch it, but just Put your index finger and thumb together. That's like a medium rare. That's like the texture that you want. And then this is um, medium, medium well, and then well done. So you can see that this little pad on your hand gets a little stiffer, and that's going to be the same thing with the steak. You want a little bit of like springing back. You don't want it to be tight. So do that with your hand. This is the only way to cook a steak, medium rare. I'm just kidding, but I'm actually not. So index finger and thumb together, and then just kind of press on this, and then press on the steak, and if it feels like that, it should be close to medium rare. It's not always exact, though. I should go on Shark Tank. What do I have? What do I have to promote here? What's my invention? 65-foot catamaran. It's a cruise sailing trip, not a charter. We have one large beer cooler. Sam. Sam, that's gonna be tough. For 31 days, I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know how you do that. Because I had 5 freezers and 2 big refrigerators, and that was tough for me. I would love to hear what's on the menu for that, Sam. Yeah, I'm stressing for you. You're gonna have to do like what those like camper people do, like dehydrate food and then rehydrate it when you're on the boat. What is my favorite cocktail? I love gin. Gin's my favorite liquor. So, like a gin fizz. Ooh, Tom Collins. I would have to go Tom Collins. That's my favorite. Debbie, how long do capers last after being opened in the fridge? Debbie, let me be honest with you. I've had capers in my fridge for about 2 years now. They're pickled, so there's huge salt content in it, and it's probably not going to go bad. As soon as you start seeing mold, throw it out. But other than that, I've been eating my 2-year-old capers, and they taste just fine. Love your online cooking classes. You're a great influencer and super relatable. Thank you. LOL, Abby is super stumped for Sam's situation. I know, Sam. I'm sorry. I mean, the dehydration of food is my best option for you. I mean, it sounds like ramen for days. Ramen for 31 days. Yeah, beef jerky. Aw, thank you, Brandy. I appreciate that. Can you help teach us how to make risotto, please? I want them. Listen, I'm rooting for the lobster risotto for the next cooking class for February because risotto is super fun to make. So if you're a subscriber in here right now, go to the subscriber page and vote on the lobster one because I promise you, once you learn how to make risotto, you can impress everyone with it. uh, Christine, do you get much downtime on the yacht and what do you do? So whatever downtime I do get, I take naps for sure. I just nap it away. So I'll go up to the bow of the boat. I'll find myself a nice little piece of sun and I will sunbathe and nap because I'm exhausted at the end of the day. I go to bed at like 9. I wake up at 7 a.m. and the day doesn't stop. There's always something you can do. If it's not cooking related, if it's not food related, you'll be helping the crew with whatever they need help with. Because they help me in the kitchen cleaning up all the time. After dinner, they help with the dishes. and they're wonderful. Yeah, there you go, Sam. Just better get lucky with that fish. We liked all three options on the subscriber page. Wait, I didn't know that you could like all three options. That's hilarious. I had no idea you could do that. But aren't you kind of throwing away your vote when you do three options? What's the difference between best by date, used by date, expiration date? They're one and the same. Um, I rarely look at that. So, like for dairy, it's super easy to tell when dairy goes bad. Like I do. Let me just preface this by saying this is what I do in my own home. But when I'm doing this as working as Abby in the galley catering or Abby in the galley on a yacht, I'm making sure to follow all safety protocol. But in my own home, I do the smell test for milks and yogurts and stuff, but it's rare that something is actually expired by the date that it's on the thing, on the product, whatever it is. You're not going to die from it, I promise. Just give it a little smell test. What are your favorite appliances for home cooking? A rice cooker. That's my favorite appliance ever. It's a foolproof method of making rice. And if you don't have a rice cooker, go get one. Steven or Steve, we liked yes, but we liked them all. You couldn't pick. That's so funny. Kimberly, I just found your page recently and love your videos. Thank you. What advice would you give to kids who cook and bake, who love to cook and bake? My 11-year-old especially loves to create in the kitchen. You should sign him up for the cooking classes that I do. They're family friendly, so you could cook along with him. My suggestion is to just get in the kitchen with him and cook with him, and that's exactly how I learned growing up. I would cook my family dinner. But yeah, if you're not that great of a cook, you can sign him up for my classes and you guys can both learn along with me. It's only $2.99 a month. I do one cooking class a month and I also post recipes and stuff. And you can cancel anytime. So if you just want to try out the cooking class, if you love it, of course, we'd love you to stay. But if it's not your thing, cancel anytime. But I have a lot of little chefs that have been here for months now. When I'm not working, what do you do? I love music. I love playing guitar, ukulele, singing. I um, I golf. I love sports. I pickleball like crazy. I love pickleballing. I play disc golf. Anything outside, going to the beach, relaxing. What kind of shoes do I wear being on your feet all day? Yeah, I didn't realize I was getting old until three hours into me cooking on the yacht, my feet are getting sore. Like, what is that about? So I realized that I had to actually wear shoes. I have Nike shoes with good arch support. I just got Brooks, which are even better. Hi, Ricky. Can you sub onion and garlic out for shallot? Yeah. Like I said, a recipe is just a guide. You can do whatever you want. But yeah, it will give you this a similar taste. When I was 12, my dad had me cook once a week. I had to plan it and shop for everything. Yeah, that's a great idea, Steve. That's great. Yeah. If you have kids, make them cook. Teach them how to cook. It'll do them well in the future. Do okay if you're trying to spend $279 on a rice cooker, do not spend that. No, there's no high tech rice cooker. Just get like, there's a link in my little description at the top of my page. I have like a cheap rice cooker. Do not spend that much money on a rice cooker. You just need a basic one. It will do you just fine. Ricky, I'm not going to be doing a cookbook soon. My cookbook is my little subscription page on Facebook. I have like recipes posted there from the yacht series and like all of my recording cooking classes. And what is your favorite breakfast? That's a tough one because I have an egg sensitivity. I love eggs, but they don't love me. So I'm weird because I do normal foods for breakfast. Like I'll just pull out some leftovers and have tacos for breakfast. But I just started doing intermittent fasting, trying to shed off a few pounds for the new year. So I'm kind of skipping breakfast. It's really not that bad. I have my little black coffee in the morning, then I start eating at noon. I'm allergic to citrus. What is the best substitute? Um, Anything acidic, so like different vinegars. You can kind of test out different fun vinegars, but if it's just about like adding acid to a dish, I would just go with vinegars. But I think it would only work with savory dishes. I wouldn't put vinegar in like a sweet dish. Do I enjoy cooking while underway? No, absolutely not. When the boat's moving, it's hard to cook. Um, it's funny. It's funny to watch me like, because there's sometimes when being underway is fine, it's easy, and it's not that rough. But for most of the time, like things are falling down, falling off the counters. Even when you think you've done a great job at stowing everything, you're wrong. Something's going to fall. If I gave you ingredients I have on hand, like shrimp, bell peppers, onions, I would I mean this isn't like a grand creative chef answer, but I would do shrimp fajitas. Do you have tortillas or like a shrimp fajita salad kind of thing? Kyle, I don't know what that is. I would love to answer your question, but I don't think I know enough about it to answer it. Ooh, the corn chowder. Wait, is it my corn chowder? Because I have a recipe. I did a cooking class on a Caribbean corn chowder. So this right here is my, I call it my emotional support water bottle. But it's cool because I put all of the stickers of the all of the national parks that I've been to. Oh, Wendy, you're totally making shrimp fajitas. Best advice given, best advice ever given to you during your time in the culinary school. This is tough. I'm gonna say two things because two things is kind of how I got to this point in my life. So, number one is when you're first starting out, just work like crazy amount. Okay, I know it sounds crazy, and I know everyone's like, respect your time and stuff, but in this industry, if you want to make it, you need to show what you've got. So I would be working like 13-hour days when I was at Disney World while taking 22 credit hours while interning at my old school as a teacher. And I would put in every single ounce of energy that I had into cooking and learning more and just taking in every little thing that I did at the job. And I would ask my chef questions about not only cooking related stuff, but like business related stuff. Like we would go through inventory. I would ask them how they do the inventory. I'd ask them about food costs. I would ask them about menu development, pricing, and just kind of learn the ins and outs. I would just pick their brains. Pick your chef's brain if you're ever wanting to go up in the industry. And number two is to take every opportunity that you're given. I almost didn't take this yacht gig thing 2 years ago. I was like, I've got so much on my plate already. I'm going to be away for, over a month. I don't think I can do it. And it was fear that was holding me back. And it was stupid. Imagine how different my life would be without that opportunity that I took. I mean, I'm sure I would still be cooking. I'm sure I would still be loving my life. But look what was in store, you know? So, working your butt off and taking every opportunity. Every opportunity. Those are the two pieces of advice that I strongly live by. Do I follow any celebrity chefs? If yes, which ones are your favorites? Um, I love Ina Garten. There's something about just her show and how relaxing it is. That was like my nap show. I would come home from school and watch Ina Garten and just like chill. She's so relaxing. Yeah, Laura, I'm excited for lobster. I hope it gets picked. If you want to join the cooking class for that, Laura, go to the subscriber page. I think there's even a button right here, and you can cook along with us. Even Wendy's encouraging her to go vote. Am I still teaching high school classes? Yes, I am. Yep, still a culinary arts teacher. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it for the night. I need to go make myself dinner. I'm getting hungry. Yeah, join the classes. They're tons of fun. Um, All the little green badges that you see, little green badges with the hearts, those are all my little chef subscribers. So just hit that little subscribe button, $2.99. You can cancel anytime, but it's really fun. So I hope that you stay along for just more than 1 month. Where do you vote? So if you go to my subscription page, if you get into be in the subscription page, $2.99. Oh, look, Wendy has the 3 month subscriber thing. So once you go into the subscription page, there's a poll set up there, and all you got to do is vote for it. Julia, I don't know if I can give you an extra vote. I don't know how to work the back ends of Facebook. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. It was a blast. It was a blast answering your questions, and I can't wait to spend some more time with you guys in my little subscription page. All right. Bye, guys. Bye, little chefs.